Hello. Okay, we are on the final episode of Marketing Working Group series. It's getting real. So we're just gonna watch everybody coming in here. Give it a minute. We start joining everybody. Looks like we got people coming in. Woo. Um, so I'm really excited about this one. And if you guys notice, we might have some different faces on here. I may have bamboozled some of the creative multimedia professionals that I know so that we could have people that do this day in, day out actually talk about making these videos. Um, so I'm so happy that Julia Lyon from RCN Capital could be here, and then Krystina Coffey from my office at American Business Media could be here as well. These guys are awesome, and I've seen obviously Krystina's work, but seen Julia's work as well, and they are excellent at video creation. In all forms, but they do short form video primarily for social media. So this is kind of serendipitous that this kind of all worked out. We will have a virtual moment with LaDonna Lockard. She was kind enough to record herself because she is actually on a plane to Atlanta to do the NMLS class for the Atlanta Mortgage Expo. Melissa Pianin is running the Atlanta Mortgage Expo right now, kind of a last minute decision. So she's doing that. And I just wanted to send out a congratulations to Erica LaCentra, who just became a new mom. So she's joining in and supporting her teammates. But she's doing that right now and very excited for her. So I'm gonna try to not plan things on people's due dates again. Um, so let's get into it. So you guys are on episode 5. It's getting real. And I'm gonna introduce you guys a little bit. So you guys have seen me a bunch of times. You've seen LaDonna, and now we have Julia Lyon. She's a social media marketing coordinator at RCN Capital. And I'm gonna let Julia introduce herself.
Yeah, so I won't be able to step all the way into Erica's shoes, but I will try today. But most of what I do is content based, so this is kind of my forte. I run all of our social media accounts. We film the content here or anywhere across the country. It's usually me or one of my many counterparts. And then I edit them in-house and we distribute it across all social platforms. So that's all me that you're seeing out there on our platforms.
Yeah, RCN has their marketing department, and Julia is the social media person. So that is all her. And if you follow RCN Capital on socials, they produce a lot. So when you think of one person putting that all out there, that is definitely pretty impressive. And we also have Krystina Coffey, multimedia specialist here at American Business Media. And I'm going to have her introduce herself, but she works on brands like National Mortgage Professional, Mortgage Women Magazine, Originator Connect Network. So I'm going to let her give her background.
Hi.
Hello.
That was my fault.
Okay.
Sorry.
Does that work now?
Yep, we're good.
Okay.
We're awake. Sorry.
It's okay. We do a lot of in-house stuff as well as getting products or videos from other contributors, such as LaDonna. She sends her stuff from Utah and I edit that in-house. And Megan does most of the social media part. I just put together the videos for her.
Awesome. Yeah, so let's dive in there. I'm getting notifications from another chat. We decided to switch up our, because we have the lovely multimedia department, we now have all these crazy lights, and Krystina and I are in like a studio setup right now. So it's more gadgets than I'm used to. So don't be like me, mute your notifications. And let's get in here. Okay, I just want to remind you guys that we do have a marketing survey. You can go to link.mwcouncil.com/marketing, and you'll be able to go in there and give us some feedback because we are looking for a season 2. So in terms of that, we're looking for guests. We have some that are lined up for season 2, but I really want to make sure that this marketing working group is for you guys. So if there's anything that you think is something that we need to cover, that would be extremely helpful. Put that in there. I'll remind you of the link at the end of this as well. And yeah, so just like, whatever you guys need, we're here. The season 1 has been great, so I want to keep up with it. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm just going to do kind of like a basic overview of why short form video matters. This is kind of just the background into why we should be caring about it. And just some statistics about the audience that are watching short form video. Probably if you think about how much you watch short form video when you're doing the doom scroll or listening to current events, short form video is really what captures people's attention. And statistically, it has high engagement rates. So short form videos have an average engagement rate of 53% higher than other content types. So people do have quick attention spans. They may not be focusing on a long form video. So that short form video is really key. It's actually preferred by users. 73% of consumers prefer to learn about products or services through that short form video. So you could see how in the mortgage industry, short form video could be really relevant, especially with people being so busy, traveling, being around, being mostly on their phones. All these social media platforms as well tend to prioritize short form video content over other content. So Instagram heavily prioritizes Reels. So it's a feature that you kind of can't avoid getting into and using. And as we'll show you through this, it's not super complicated for you to get into making video creation. Yes, there's definitely a benefit to have somebody like Julia or Krystina who knows how to produce these videos and has that video editing background. But it is doable for individuals. And we know that TikTok users, they spend a lot of time on TikTok, an average of 52 minutes per day. And YouTube Shorts, which we recently started going heavily into, get 50 billion daily views a day globally. So I'm just going to go through this really quick, and I'll have this available for you if you want to look kind of more into the numbers, but just understanding the platforms. We have our age ranges here. The primary content demographic for our TikTok users are 18 to 24, 57% female, 43% male. And it has over 1.2 billion monthly active users. The strongest market being in the US, China, etc. And then you have YouTube. Again, we're looking at 32% in the 18 to 24 range, but we also have a close contender, 25 to 34, 35 to 44. So that would be a primary age range, which probably a lot of mortgage industry clients would be in. So the people that you are trying to reach are actively on these platforms and they're actively engaging in this content. Global reach, YouTube, over 2.7 billion monthly active users and available in over 100 plus countries and 80 languages. So it's versatile. YouTube is coming back with vigor with everything that's going on with social media platforms. Not that it really went anywhere, but it's important to be in all these different places. Again, very similar age demographics, and we have over 2.3 billion active users on Instagram. I'm going to stop sharing for just one moment because my notifications are driving me crazy. And then we will get right into Julia's presentation because I really don't want to do this to her when she's trying to present. So hold on one second. Tell people stop talking to me. Okay. Okay. Now, hopefully this will be better. Sorry about that, guys. Again, we have this new setup. I would probably suggest too, when you're starting video recording, to not try a new setup when you're trying to host a webinar. Let's do this here. Okay, am I back? Okay, cool. Okay, Julia, you're on.
All right, so content ideas. Obviously, I have a lot of content that I create, so I'm just going to show you guys kind of what I start with and how to come up with ideas of your own. So the first thing I would say here is that variety is really important. You're trying to create kind of like the profile of your company. So you want to create like a full story here. So you can do this by creating different types of content through video. So they're all going to be videos, but they're going to serve a different purpose. Each type of video will be sharing a different part of your story or what you're good at. And the whole point is to create this one cohesive story at the end of what your company does, why you're great at it, why you're trustworthy, and just portraying that you're humans as well. So the first one you probably see a lot of is educational content. We lean on this pretty heavily as well. And the why for this type of content is that these videos position your business as an authority in the space, and it provides valuable knowledge and insights to your audience. It also shows that you're a credible and reliable source for your clients to lean on, which is something that every investor, broker, anyone in this space wants when they're finding a partner in this business, is someone that will help them grow. So you want to position yourself as that authority in the space. This is somewhere you can really use AI tools as well. It's hard to come up with idea after idea for educational content. You will run out quickly, trust me. So I would lean on ChatGPT, any other AI tool that you may currently use. You can really ask them for prompts. We do this pretty much every week. We come up with new prompts, and you have to be pretty specific when you're asking ChatGPT these questions, but you can really narrow it down to what your audience is looking for. And I typically will start with something like a list of topics mortgage professionals may be curious about, and then you would ask in detailed questions about each of those prompts it asks you as well. So then you're creating more and more detailed prompts out of one list ChatGPT gives you. So it's easy to just ask them a question, but you really want to dive deeper, and that's where you're going to start finding a list out of 20 can become 100 videos. So lean on them for ideas in that sense.
Yeah, I know Krystina and I will throw an idea we have into ChatGPT and ask it to give us the beginning of a script. It actually suggests B-roll. So it's nice because it gives you kind of like that framework, and then we'll go in and we'll make it, we might have different parts that we edit. But to have that as a source to just give you the beginning stages, I think that's a great use of AI. And I don't think that's any shame in using AI in that way at all. I know that everyone's kind of a little bit like, do we use it? Do we don't? But yeah, definitely for that content, because you're trying to come up with that consistent stream of information. And you might have the beginning stages, but that's a lot to put on your brain.
And it is definitely hard to put yourself in the shoes of your audience and wonder kind of what they would want to ask. So it's easy to ask a robot, basically. The questions that your brain simply can't come up with, it's a lot easier to lean on them, especially when you're creating thousands of videos a year. You need to ask them those questions or you'll be stuck.
Yeah, for sure. And ChatGPT free variations are available, and I'm still on a free account, and I haven't had the need to switch over to a paid one, so it's definitely a resource you can use.
Mhm. So these are some little examples of educational content we have done. So you can see these are just thumbnails other than the one of Erica there. But
I
we
might have
took,
done that.
yeah. So you can see that some of them are, how is private lending different? That one's a video about how private lending may be different from traditional lending. And that might be a question that we get often on the trade show floor. So our team brings that back and says, this is a question we're getting asked. Let's make a video about it. Obviously, we have Erica here. Hers is advice for professionals, marketing professionals. And we did bring it with a little twist because we were at a animal rescue. So obviously everyone loves to look at puppies. So that draws the attention in a little more, but it still is educational content that we're portraying, which is, it's great to spice it up with stuff like that if you can. And then the next one there is choosing ground up construction locations, which is just another, but that one was probably from ChatGPT. If I'm being honest, it's one of those things that like I wouldn't think of, but we do think of ground up construction questions all the time. So that probably came from a list of a bunch of other questions about ground up construction. And then social media marketing tips from Erica as well. We do lean into what each person at our team specializes in. So we'll have Erica do content about marketing. Our business development team does this. Andy on screen is our business development guy. So he does those types of questions people may ask on the trade show floor. We do market update types of things with our leadership team like Jeffrey Tesh. So we really lean into what people on our team specialize in and are knowledgeable about. So that's where I would start with educational content.
Awesome.
So this is another type of video you can make. We do a lot of these that are timely and relevant updates. And the why for this one is sharing news keeps your audience informed and demonstrates that your business is up to date with industry trends and developments. Giving them this information in a timely manner will show they can rely on you. So no one wants to partner with a lender who isn't giving them updates on the market, isn't leading them in the right direction. So this is automatically giving us the credibility that we do stay on top of this. We do give out this information freely, and it really just boosts the credibility as soon as someone goes on your page. So for these types of videos, we will also sit down with other leaders in our space. So on the side there, you can see Rick Sharga, Beth O'Brien. These are both people that are huge in the space. They have a lot of knowledge that we might not find just within the walls of RCN. So we do lean on other people in the space to provide that data and bring a different mindset, which is always good too. This way you're also not showing any bias for how the market's going. We're not swaying it one way or another with how we're saying things. It's the whole truth, and we're providing data that our clients and anyone else that follows us can use to their benefit.
Awesome.
Storytelling. So this one can be really fun once you start leaning into it. Social media is a chance to set yourself apart from your competitors with things other than terms and rates. Showing your team as humans builds a connection, and presenting your clients' success shows how invested you are in their growth. So the example on the top right over there is one of our clients' success stories. So it's a TikTok with a bunch of different pictures from before and after of a fix and flip they did, which was really great to see. They sent in those pictures themselves and said, feel free to share these. I'm really happy with our partnership and how this went. And it was a beautiful property in the end. And you can see by the picture there was a lot of work to do. So we do love sharing those, but you always want to make sure you have permission for that. And then other things we've done in the past, we do have a farm on our campus here, so we love to show off our farm animals. So the other one on that top row is our CEO introducing our new pig, Peanut. So that's all. It's a fun little thing that's just like about us, but not about what we do necessarily. So it really does put you in a human light. Another one down there is the Toys for Tots video. That's about a donation that we do each year, bringing toys, a toy drive at Christmas. So we filmed our executive team packing up those shipments. It's again just showing a little bit about us, what we value, what we care about, what we support. Then the other one on this page is opening our Charlotte office. So most people who work with us know that we are headquartered in Connecticut. That's where our larger office is, but it's great to show that our team is growing across the country. It's an accomplishment that isn't just an award per se that we could just post a picture of. So it's really a video of our team setting up the office opening and people celebrating all together. So it's telling the story of our growth without outright being like, this is how many people we've added this year.
Yeah, I think it's really great to have that video content too, because you think of, we might see it in terms of an influencer, but when you see someone share that bit about their lives or that personality behind their company, or the great things they're doing in their community outreach, or the fact that you guys have a bunch of rescue farm animals on your property, that makes you more approachable. It gives you guys, I would say some heart. And in a highly competitive space, I think if you can, portray yourself and show all the good things you're doing, you have an upper hand because people feel like they know you, and they're more comfortable with you. And I will say you guys are super fun with the parties that you share. I recently saw the one you guys did at Mohegan. Just they do parties at trade show events, and they're known for their parties, and everybody knows if it has RCN on it, it's going to be a fun time. So there's just like a range of personality you guys show, which I think is awesome. And then I have to bring up the hot to go. So you guys are gonna follow them on social media and check out the last one that they posted from their holiday party. It's a little nod to Chapel Roan. But it doesn't have anything to do with mortgage, but I watched it. It was funny. I enjoyed it. And that might get you a follow on your page from a client that, might have overlooked you, but they liked that. Maybe they like her and they like her as a singer and they followed you. So I would appreciate your
I would
content.
say social media really is like a company's only chance to kind of show that like personality side other than meeting someone face to face, but that's hard to meet every single person and show the story of our company. So I would say have fun with it. It does take a while to like gain that confidence to start doing the fun stuff, and you can lean on the educational stuff for a while, but telling the story of your company through things like this like really does make a difference, and people will come up to you and be like, oh, that video, like Megan just said, I just saw your hot to go video. So it does make a difference, and it makes people remember your company as well.
Yeah, like an icebreaker,
Exactly.
yeah, that's awesome.
This is more of the fun stuff. So engaging in trends and entertainment, we kind of just talked about this too, but the type of content that captures attention is really this. You can really find trends just from scrolling your own social media, just paying attention to it more as you're scrolling will start to bring those ideas into your mind. So, and you can make your own twist on it. Like the hot to go video is a trend right now, but we recorded it at our holiday party, so it's still RCN, but it's not, there's still some trend to it, Social media is meant to be fun, and I think in such like a serious industry or when you're representing a company, you can kind of forget that. So you want to lean into the fun stuff too. So just take note of fun trends while you're scrolling. But these are some examples of our stuff that we've done. So question of the week we do. This is kind of like those videos you see of like sports managers will ask their teams little questions of the week, and that's easy. So ours was, what's your favorite Halloween candy was one we did. And it's just a simple, easy question, get to know, like anyone who walks through the door at RCN will ask them that. So it's not just our leadership team or people we typically will put in front of the camera. So that's a little like fun way to bring other people into the social media part of our company. The other one on top is a funny one that did really well on LinkedIn, which is our CEO was out and we needed to film content. So me, Erica, and Mary Margaret, one of our other marketing specialists, filmed auditions to be him. So it's still about our CEO, it's about our company, and it was showing that like we really are like a family group. We love having fun there. We all know him really well. So it's just a fun way to mix it up. We also did RCN trivia. This was at, I think, our 14th birthday party. I just asked anyone there random facts about RCN. It was a fun way to kind of let people know a little more about RCN, but also putting a fun twist on it with having it be kind of like a competition. And then Travel Tesh, that's our mini version of our CEO. So we send that little figurine to different shows that Jeff can't make it to because there's just too many to get to in a year. So then we send him there and take little videos and pictures of him, and it's just a funny little joke people remember along the way. So it's really about impressions and having fun and making that positive impression on people that they'll think of when they think of your company.
Awesome. I think I remember the years and years ago, there was a monkey, like a stuffed monkey that traveled.
Miles. Yes.
Miles the monkey. Yeah.
Yeah. So the call to action. So why are we doing this? What's the point of posting all these things on social media? You want to have a call to action, but I would encourage you to avoid the hard sell. I'm sure you've heard this before in general sales advice as well, but every once in a while, it's okay to make a video about your products, what you do, why you're great, but you really want to portray it most of the time in a way that's much more subtle, just showing that you're knowledgeable in the space, people can rely on you. You're humans. It's very important to portray that you're humans and you care about your clients, but you can kind of use other content to direct them, keep them coming back into your circle of content. So you can use your call to action to push them towards your YouTube channel with long form video, your website, DM us to learn more. Then you can get their contact information that way, book a free consultation. We have a link in our bio just to sign up for our emails if people want to stay more involved in our company, but it's not, you don't want to push them into anything on socials. People are on social media to have fun and scroll mindlessly. So I would also say to make whatever your call to action is something easy, something they can do with 1 or 2 clicks, and then they're moving on with their day. But it's something that will keep them coming back to your content and keep you at the top of their mind.
Awesome. Yeah, I think you guys do a good job with combining educational content with that fun content. So it might not be like the hard sell, but it shows that you're knowledgeable in the products that, you have the ability to sell.
Exactly.
So it's like a way around it, you're not like the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man guy. Like
Yeah. If people sense an ad on social media, they tend to start scrolling away. So
Yeah.
you want to provide some other sort of value, whether it's fun or some sort of tip or trick or piece of knowledge, and then they'll remember you through that.
Then they can share it and they can look smart.
Exactly.
So I'm going to pass this over to Krystina. So Julia, she does production, she does the content ideas. Krystina does all those things as well for us. So she, I would say, probably is the closest person to Julia we have on our team. And she has a background in editing video. And usually I'm sending her things like rough video that we record from here and being like, help. you know, here's like, I'll send her. So actually, fun fact about Krystina is all of the Mortgage Women Leadership Council recorded videos, the Kelly interview. She is the primary person that produces all of the video content for us. So you've definitely seen her work, and she's going to go through what program she uses, how you can create those effective videos on a technical side. And then we'll go into a case study with LaDonna on what she uses as an individual versus someone that's on a team, whether it be Krystina's team is 2 people instead of Julia's team, which is her 1 person for social media.
So we're gonna start with preparation. Setting up a simple recording space, such as your lighting, sound, and background. I'm glad you guys can't hear this, but we do have landscapers in the background right now, and I was like, oh no, I really hope they can't hear it. So that's just something to be mindful of, what's going on around you. A lot of people work from home, so like if you have pets or children or even your spouse, people around you, you might want to shut the door, shut your windows maybe. Lighting, there's a lot of simple solutions for this nowadays. Like LaDonna will show you her little camera that, or not camera, the light that she has, and it just goes right in front of your screen. And we have actual like lights in front of us right now. Then you always want like a clean professional background. I do look through a lot of interviews with certain people, and one of my biggest pet peeves was a guy eating while doing the interview. That's not very professional in my opinion. So just be mindful of what you're doing, and if you're on camera, and like what else is going on, where this is going, because people are going to look at it like in a certain way, and you want to look your best, unless it is supposed to be fun, which you're going to have fun with it. So just finding that balance as well. And then framing, this is pretty simple, but I think a lot of people overlook it. You don't want to be like really far away or way too close up. So just try and be centered and looking directly at the camera or close to it.
And I would add to that too, usually the things we're sending to Krystina are like our horizontal format. So that's great because I know we're talking more about short form video content in the sense of you're probably picturing more of like a vertical reel. But if you film everything horizontally and you frame it appropriately, then you have one file that can then be cropped and used in multiple applications. And so even if you have a 30-minute long video, you could chop that up and you might have, 5 to 10 great shorts that you could put together. And really what you're doing is just cropping it and trimming it and adding what you need to. So I know that's something that they always remind me to do when I'm filming, is to have it horizontally.
We did talk about ChatGPT earlier and writing scripts. That is usually a starting point for me. I will read an article that was written for NMP, and then once I read through it, I know what the big points are, what the best pull quotes are, and I try and use that to tell ChatGPT, like, I'm trying to write a video script, and it'll give me the narration lines and the B-roll, and it helps just get the ball rolling. You still have to put some stuff into it, and I'll go back to the editors, the writers, and be like, this isn't perfect, can you help me please? But it's a good beginning. You always want to know what visuals are going to be on screen with what audio. So before you start recording and you're like, oh, well, I just want to talk about the housing industry, what imagery are you going to have up? Do you want stock B-roll? Do you want to go outside and take a video of your own house or something? Like, you need to try and think about that before you just hit record on something.
And I would say too, what we seem to have, and I would say it's an industry-wide problem. When you think of the B-roll of the mortgage industry, it's so hard to find B-roll that's not the same thing, or like our COO's biggest pet peeve is like the hand holding the key in the house, and then opening the door, or just trying to be unique with it. So yeah, if you have the ability, like Krystina said, go outside. Like it'd probably be a better, more intense video if you could have actual video content that adds to your story versus the same generic graphic that's going to be in everybody's.
Sometimes you might want music in the background. That's always useful, depending on what you're going for again. And I've seen plenty of companies use memes in their videos because it's what's trending, and it's like, oh, this makes it relevant, and it doesn't feel like an ad anymore. It's just like, oh, this was goofy. Okay, I understand it better now because it's easier to ingest. Oh, and clickbait titles. I don't like to say clickbait because it sounds like a negative thing, but it is attention grabbing, and that's what we're going for. So if that's what works, then just go with what the industry, like what you already consume on Facebook or LinkedIn and YouTube. There's a lot of like #1 secret to homeowning or finding your perfect lender. Like it might seem like an exaggeration, but that's gonna be what people are gonna want to click on.
And I will mention too, this is a lot of information. So if anyone that's here has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. You you guys have them, and also follow them on LinkedIn because you can bug them later.
So when we're talking about these shorts, the optimal length is 15 to 60 seconds. We do go up to like 90, and I think that's the most you can do for YouTube, for a YouTube short. Sometimes it's just one powerful quote or a piece of news that leads you to other content. The video I used here was from Max Convos, and he had one quote that really stuck out. So I just pulled 15-20 seconds, and that was its own video by itself. And on YouTube, it will let you link your shorts to your long videos. So that helps you get them going to other content and hopefully more interested in everything you're doing. And using captions, I'm big on captions. I also find them to be a pain sometimes. Read them a lot. Like I'm gonna say at least 3 times. I did a video earlier, and it was President Trump, and he fired this person, hired a new person, and I had to get the names right because these are our government leaders, and I was like, I don't know how to spell this name. So make sure you're checking, and like some of this is mortgage related, which is new to me. So I'll ask someone around the office, like, I'm not quite sure what he's saying. Like it's a QL keynote. I don't know all of the terms. So
We have a segment, Master the Markets, with Bill Bodner, and he produces a quick video for us every Monday, and just acronyms galore, and trying to do the captions for that, and then acronyms that might not be something you can just Google search. So for his videos, we have our most educated mortgage editorial person going through and making sure that we are talking about all those terms correctly. So yeah, definitely if you have somebody in the office when you're producing this that understands the intricacies, like it definitely makes sense to have them do a once over and make sure, because the worst thing would be to put out a video and have that educational content and have that impressive video be dismantled because something is incorrect. So definitely check everything a lot.
and double check names
Yes.
as well. Be mindful of where text will pop up on the screen. This is easier said than done because everyone has a different phone, a different size, and like I have a smaller iPhone SE, so things are a little smaller on my screen, which means sometimes my captions have the title over it, which there's not much you can do besides being aware of it and knowing that if you put your captions too low, they're gonna be covered up by text anyway, so just keep that in mind with where you're putting captions. Setting your tone. This can be excited or serious or fun or whatever your tone is. Just try to keep that tone the whole time. If you start a video and you're like, I'm so excited, and by the end of it, you're just like, go to www dot. It's like, you gotta just keep being fun or whatever your tone is. If you start with a smile, you will sound happy. And that's one of the easiest tips I learned when I was actually a radio host. It was not that fun for me, but I found ways and tips to sound happy, at least. Be confident and project your voice. Fake it till you make it if you have to. Again, that's easier said than done sometimes. But now I'm losing my voice.
I did an entire webinar where Melissa had to speak for me because I did actually lose my voice. So it's okay. You're in good company.
Some of the editing tools you can use, especially if you're doing it just for yourself, and these are just quick reels. InShot, CapCut, and Canva are all great editing tools. I went through and I hadn't used InShot before, so I was like, okay, let me see what this is about and how easy it is, so I know what I'm talking about. I use Canva for most things here. So I went in and I made a video of my cat, and I was like, oh, this has everything you need right in the app. This is great. I do use Premiere Pro. It is a subscription. I don't know how much it costs, but it's not for everyone. It's more in depth, and that's where, like, if you are doing horizontal, long form, or other types of video, it's good to have. And there are other built-in tools like on Instagram and TikTok. A lot of these apps are what you're familiar with, and if you're not familiar with them, they are easy to get used to.
I would also probably say even a social scheduling platform, depending on how many videos, like if you're doing RCN level videos, I'm going to assume that they schedule them out. So that might be a consideration, especially if you're a one-man band and you have to have all these things shooting at different times.
I will say a lot of the social media platforms now you can schedule right in the app, so that's a good tip too. But yes, we do use Publer as well. There are lots of things like that, but a lot of them you can do right in the social media app itself, which is nice.
Yeah, and I would like, even if you start with Canva, and then utilize the social media apps that have their own video editing software, and you use a phone, an iPhone, pretty solid. They also have other Android phones are good too. And LaDonna is going to get into kind of what she uses. And now figure like LaDonna can't be here right now because she's on a plane. I think she flies like 5 times a month or something. And she produces a weekly show for us. Plus her own social media content, and she has reels up all the time. So don't get intimidated by any of that. You know, it's obviously like when you have a full company with a myriad of products and the resources to put into that. Yeah, you're going to have a team, or you're going to have somebody that's dedicated to that. But as an entrepreneur, as someone that's doing it by themselves, or is, you know, wants to try their hand at that, because for instance, like with LaDonna, it gives her a personality. You know, she's the CEO of a company. You know, the same thing with Jeff Tesh. Think of like, you know, you're humanizing a CEO of a company. You know, the head of that company you're putting in there. We also do a series, Poetic Moments in Mortgage. with our CEO, Vincent Valvo. And it's just a fun, it actually has, I think, one of the most views on any of the content that we produce. And it's, ChatGPT gives him poems about different subject matters in mortgage. So how cool is that? You have these three CEOs that, are lighthearted enough that they can have some fun. And wouldn't you rather work with a company that has someone that's in that position of power that's more human? So I think that that's really powerful, and video gives you that. So LaDonna sent in 2 videos for us. And I will find out exactly what she uses for tools, because after I watched the first one, I was like pretty convinced I was going to go shopping on Amazon. So I'll provide the links in the email I send as a follow-up if you guys want to buy any of this equipment, or just my receipts, because I'll probably buy them. I would follow LaDonna. So she's LaDonna.Lockard on Instagram. Watch her reels. Like, she does all this stuff these reels primarily are her and her editing equipment. And then she has her own series, Maximum Conversations, or Max Convos, that Krystina puts together. So she's doing both. She's doing the personal interviews that she has, or the interviews that she has professionally with Max Convos. And then she has her own reels that she's putting out as a CEO of Maximum Acceleration, she might be talking about like NMLS renewal deadlines, but she does it in a fun way. And you get a little bit of an insight into her personality.
All right, my ladies, let's talk about short form content. Nothing like being a case study when I can't even be there live. And let me assure you, my hair is getting bigger and bigger, because with each take I do this to it. I think we're up to like take number 7, right? Sometimes that's just the way that short form content goes. You got to get comfortable with the camera. Eventually you get to the point where you can just roll with it. So let's roll, shall we? Let's talk about some of my favorite little gadgets and gizmos that I like to use when shooting. A gimbal. Go with the DJI, get a good one. Did I go with a cheapie? TikTok made me buy it. TikTok made me want to throw it in the garbage. Yeah, I did. And then I reverted back and I got this good guy. Spend the money, get a good one. Speaking of spending the money, these little microphones, same thing, little baby DJIs. Look how cute and little and practical these things are. They have a USB-C connector. Amazing. Oh, other than the fact that I have to fight with them every time I connect them to my laptop. In some world, am I sure that these are phenomenal? Yeah. Is the quality of the audio fantastic on these? When they decide to work, you bet it is. These were like $200. And again, when they work, love them. Shout out to DJI for making quality products. However, I fight with them to get them to work. And then there are these little babies. I found these on Amazon. Woo, so little that they just slip right out of my fingers. These teeny tiny little hockey pucks. I live for these things. I have one of them on right now. They have a USB-C connector. You can find them with a lightning connector. I plug them right in. Boom, audio, go time. Love these. I carry both of these in my purse at all times. Guess which one I prefer to carry, right? It's for like $60 on Amazon. A game changer when it comes to content, though. I was in a conference actually a week ago all about social media, and the woman presenting was asked what she thought was more important, high quality audio or good lighting. She said good lighting. I actually disagree. I have noticed significant differences in audio in comparison to good lighting, right? But let's be real, I'm a lighting snob. I want to look lovely and airbrushed in the content that I'm putting out there. Let's talk about the practical ways that you can make it happen easily. I run a ring light on one side of me. I would show you, it's a ring light, you know what it looks like. I have a window to this side. the sun has gone down. It is no longer serving any purpose for me whatsoever. You know what is serving its purpose though? This bad boy. This bad boy is the big softy. Why is it big? It's not. It's just little. It's a little guy. I found this. Talk about a true game changer. I keep this in my bag at all times. Boom, back on my laptop. Slides just as easy onto my phone. Gives me great lighting wherever I am. I kind of covered up my camera, so now it's getting picky. There, adjusted my lighting just like that. It was on the pricier side. It's like 120 bucks. Totally worth it though, completely worth it. Last thing that I love to utilize, my iPad. This thing, oh my gosh, what a game changer. So now when I want to shoot and I know that I'm going to be interviewing someone, I just put all of my notes on this. I keep it over here. I can glance over at it when I need to. Easy breezy. I have everything I need right there. Sure, there's AI programs now that will fix your eyes if you are actually reading from a script. I've seen them. They work fine. I don't love it. But again, utilize the tools that make the most sense for you. These are just my quick and easy non-negotiables.
So LaDonna, it was funny. We did at the New England Mortgage Expo, Maximum Acceleration did hot loans. And at the end of it, we kind of looked at each other like, we need to get exit interviews. So she had that little Amazon thing, and we had my phone on the DJI, and we had to grab these people from the stage as they were leaving. So we had like 2 minutes, and she had the specific adapter for my phone because it comes with two, put it in my phone. I already had it on the DJI gimbal, and we were able to get the exit interviews. So you figure if you are a mortgage professional and you are going to these shows and you're meeting people and you're talking to people, and maybe you have the starts of a good conversation. If you have those tools with you, like LaDonna says, she keeps them in her bag, you could get a great little interview. You know, give them the mic. It took 2 seconds for us to hook up her microphone, and the audio was great. Was it going to win movie editing awards? No, but for the purposes of a short form video, it was great. And if you can see in LaDonna's video, she has framed herself. She has herself in the center. Like Krystina was mentioning, she has a nice backdrop. She has the lighting. And like she gave you the price points. She's not spending thousands of dollars on this equipment. She's using equipment that she already has, and then getting a couple of additives that range in price just to have on hand. So we're going to go to the program she uses.
Okay, so we talked about my favorite little tips, tricks,
gizmos, gadgets,
etc. But now like being a case study when I can't even be there
And
live.
now we're doing, that's still, oh, here we go. See,
Okay, so we talked about my favorite little tips,
gonna
tricks,
keep doing
gizmos,
this.
gadgets.
let's see. Let's bring this all the way down here. Although we love LaDonna, we do not need to hear her in dual.
Okay, so we talked about my favorite.
Okay, let's see here.
All right, my lady.
Let's see. Let's know what we're gonna do. And as you guys can see behind the scenes, I am in Canva. We're gonna delete LaDonna's first video, so we're not gonna hear this. And then we're going to present her second video. Yeah. There we go.
Okay, so we talked about my favorite little.
Okay, well, you know what? She goes
Okay,
over
all right, my ladies.
StreamYard and CapCut in this. I will have these available. I don't know why it keeps. Oh, you know what? Okay, well, that's why it was behind it. Okay, let's do this one more time. Third time's the charm.
Okay, so we talked about my favorite little tips,
There we go.
tricks, gizmos, gadgets, etc. But now let's talk about programs that I utilize. I love using StreamYard. It's what I'm using right now. It is a fantastic software to be using if you are doing recorded presentations. Maybe you want to cover an LE with a borrower. You can present while you're recording. Fantastic way to go about it. If you want to conduct interviews, an amazing program to use. It is what I use almost every single day. So fantastic, cannot recommend it highly enough. 2, CapCut. CapCut is worth its weight in gold to me. I love using it for short form content. When I got in there initially and started playing around with it, it did take a little bit of trial and error, but guess what? I figured it out really quickly because it is so intuitive. I did go with the Pro eventually, jump in there, play around on the free version of it. But then if you love it, upgrade to the Pro. I actually replaced the person who used to edit my videos with CapCut because that is how good of a system and a app it is. So highly, highly recommend it. I know Krystina shared some of her favorites. Those are 2 of mine.
Okay. And how did she know? So that is that. If you guys, we do have a few minutes. If anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I encourage you guys to connect with us on social media. Find us on LinkedIn. And then again, I have this marketing survey, link.mwlcouncil.com/marketing survey. It will not take you much time to complete it. If you've attended one or a couple of these or all of them, which would be awesome, give us feedback. Let us know what you're looking for. Kind of tossing around some ideas with maybe some episodes on event marketing. I think that might be helpful. It seems like that comes up a lot. But if there's anything that sparks your interest in terms of mortgage industry marketing, take the survey, reach out to me. I'd love to hear. And also, if anyone would like to be a guest on this and would like to do participate in the marketing working group, I should be sending out some email communication to see if we can get some more guests on here. Definitely love seeing new faces and new inputs. So thank you very much to Julia and Krystina for joining me today. I think this was great, and I really appreciate your expertise. And we have a question. Okay. So Ember is asking, I noticed you didn't mention Facebook at all when going over the stats for the different social media platforms. Are you not posting to Facebook at all, just reusing the same content or something else? Actually, Julia, would you speak to Facebook in terms of how RCN utilizes it? Because I know you guys are on everything.
Yeah, I can talk about that. So for Facebook, we do one extra post on there that's different from the other ones. So that's a place that will post a lot about our blogs that go on our website. So it's a way to channel people from Facebook to our website, which is great. But we also post Facebook Reels as well. So we use video content on there as well. You just have to keep in mind the demographics a little bit different. I would say Facebook, just age-wise, is probably a little bit higher than Instagram or TikTok. But again, everyone likes to watch videos. It's easy, digestible content, so you can still use those videos you're creating there as well.
Yeah, for right now, for us, we're using mostly the horizontal video on Facebook and uploading it natively. And then we share video content in our stories from our Instagram because we have the meta integration. But definitely it might not be in our scope of doing extra on Facebook, but it's dependent on your marketing strategy. Where can we find the links to all the items that are recommended? Melissa, I will send a follow-up email with the recording of this, and I'm going to ask LaDonna for links to the exact products that she uses. So I'll include that in the email. She was on a plane, so I wasn't able to grab them, but I'm also interested because those seem really great, and I've actually used them with her. So yeah, I'll definitely send that as a follow-up. So yeah. Thank you guys, and I appreciate the questions and the participation. I'm looking for a launch of a second series, probably in April. We're going to take a little while and probably go into more of a bi-monthly, unless, if we need the monthly, I will gladly keep doing it with you guys. But yeah, we'll come back for season 2, new and improved. And thank you guys again for everyone's participation and engagement, and coming on here and doing this for us. This is how we make the Mortgage Women Leadership Council better. And this is only the beginning. We've only been doing it for under a year. So thanks again. And I will see you guys in the next one.